Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Politics on AIG Media Pro. I am Aogo, although Let's Talk Politics, your number one top politics show ahead of the crucial 2019 general elections. The electoral contest for Lagos State has never been any hotter than this. We've got dozens of candidates who are vying for Lagos' number one job. Abibat Adebimpe Adeosun is the deputy governorship candidate for the Action Democratic Party, and party is seeking the office of the governorship of Lagos State. Thank you very much for coming on Let's Talk Politics.
Thank you very much.
Well, one of the key discussions that has happened, your party, the Action Democratic Party, vying for not just the governorship, the deputy governorship, together with the House of Representatives, state assembly seats in Lagos, close to 35, 36, I understand, is a question people have asked everyone who wants the seat from the ruling party, which has been in power for over since 1999 till date. Why do you want a change in Alausa?
Thank you very much. And my name, as you have said earlier on, my name is Abibat Adebimpe Adeosun. I want a change in the government because my people are suffering. The people are crying out there. The people do not enjoy the government. We said we are practicing democratic party in Nigeria, but the people are not enjoying the democracy ability there. That is why I come out and let me fight for my people. I'm not fighting for myself only. I'm not fighting for my families. I'm fighting for the people of Nigeria, Lagos State as a whole entirely.
As a youth, you represent a huge percentage of people in Lagos, mainly youth who are seeking different things in life. They want the good life. Yes. While you have a lot of people coming to Lagos State, for example. Tell me what vision you have for young people in Lagos State if your party gets elected next year.
Thank you. If my party gets elected next year, we are going to empower our youth people. Some, we are having less employment in Nigeria as Lagos State as a whole. We are going to make enough available job for the youth in order to less this empowerment program in the Lagos State.
Well, what areas do you think you would like to focus in terms of specifics for
I would like to focus in agriculture because in Badagry area we have a lot of land there that we can bring in our youth that can develop agricultural process. Like example, the coconut oil, we can create a factory that we can employ our people there so that we can have a good job on the ground for the youth.
So you have a background in business administration, yes, as well as in the building. You said you did some marketing with the building and all of that. Look at Lagos as it's grown over the years. You have more people in Lagos than any other state you'll find, and it's still projected that by the year 2030 we probably will cross the 50 million mark and all of that. Do you look at the inclusiveness of Lagos as people have coming from different parts of the country as an advantage, or you think that we should do something about the people coming into Lagos State?
Yes, we should try and do something, people coming to Lagos, because the way they are coming in, they're just coming in anyhow. They're just adding the pollution problem to the state for us. So we want to eradicate people coming in from everywhere to Lagos. How do you plan to eradicate people? We'll do that by we'll focus on our borders in the angles of the Lagos State and make sure there is a proper checking before you can come into our state.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because you have a background in Badagry, if you look at the economy of Badagry all the way to the border town of Semen, Itukutulu, that area in Lagos State has thrived in business because of the influx of business and all of that. So if you say you want to stop people, for example, coming in, you think it won't affect business in Badagry?
It won't.
Why?
It won't. Because we want people to depend on our goods in Badagry. We want people to depend on our goods in Lagos State. We don't want people to go into Cotonou and be bringing their goods in to the state for us. It's killing our economy. It's killing our products. but we'll try and make sure we'll develop our own goods. We'll let it be on a good varieties for people so that our economic too can grow. We are not boosting our own economic, we are boosting other country economic. So that is why we have to put a stop to that.
You know, why I'm focusing a lot on Badagry is because for many years, people have looked at that area as largely neglected. Others say it's, well, not necessarily true. You're from there, so you think it's valid, the argument for people to say that the island part of Lagos into the Ekpe Expressway and all of that have profited more from the government than Badagry. Is it true?
Yes.
In what areas has Badagry suffered?
Yeah, we are really suffering there. We don't have good road. We don't have infrastructure there. There is no complaint. We don't have. We are lacking so many things in Badagry. We are lacking so many trees in Badagry. That's why I'm pleading for Holland and the Lagosian that they should join us to support APD for the next governorship election, so that we can handle our things ourselves, because we are the owner of the Lagos State.
Tell me something about the women and the girl child in Lagos State. We've got several women, you know, doing stuff in Lagos State, enterprising. Do you think about what ways, for example, the woman in Lagos can be more empowered, and in what ways, if your party gets elected and you become deputy governor, you can add or enrich the lives of women in Lagos State? In what ways?
Yes, we try and help the women of Lagos State by empowering them. It's not by giving them 13,000 that there is nothing to write home about, but we try and empower them. Instead of them going to, what is it called, sharp, lapo, giving them problem before they repay back, we're going to empower them, at least give them something they can start with, and they are...
So I missed that. What's sharp, lapo?
That's how they call it, sharp, lapo. I think there is a some little financial institution, the microfinance bank, that don't lend them a rate of 20,000 to 50,000, right, giving them problem to repay back. It's giving them a tough time. Some do have hypertension before they refund the money back. We'll try and empower them. We will not go for microfinance bank that will be giving them problem. We'll try and empower the women in the Lagos State so that they will be solved.
You've worked in the public sector before, and you as a woman also worked. Is there any discrimination against women, saying, for example, they cannot aspire to be anything in Lagos? Because a lot of people, in their perception, think that Lagos is open for whether you're a man or a woman, you will have opportunity to make it in this city.
Yes, we will have opportunity to make it, because what a man can do, a woman can do better. I believe that, and there shouldn't be discrimination to that. If a woman is handling it, no. We believe what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Tell us about involvement of women in politics. The statistics are not very good for Nigeria. Perhaps one of the worst when it comes to women's involvement at elected positions. We have in the National Assembly one of the worst. I think it's just about 6% for both houses of assembly. What are the hurdles that are before you, or the advantages for you now, for example, who is vying for office as a deputy governorship candidate of the Action Democratic Party? What are your thoughts about women in politics?
It's a good idea, because men cannot do it alone. Women do carry their people along. They know where their children are suffering. That is why you see them going out, join one party or the other, to contribute with their own ideas, to tell them what they have for the people. So we cannot go beyond that. Without a woman, we cannot go.
What sort of pressures have you faced since your first time going for office? So you probably would have faced a lot of pressure from the men folk saying, you getting into office, for example, are you capable of it? What sort of pressures have you faced?
Not really. My people are 100% supportive for me. They love me being the deputy governor of Lagos State. They join hands together with me. They support me. So I don't think I'm having any challenges from them at all.
Well, and I know a number of women who would want to go for this, for example, but they worry about the late night political meetings they have to attend. They also worry that they get into meetings and there's a lot of talk about the monies and all of that that they expect everyone to be a part of. Are there ways your party, for example, has said that you as a woman don't have to attend those late night meetings, for example, and all of that?
No. There has not been a issue like that in my party has not been an issue like that in my party. And for now, we have not been having any late night meeting. And if that is coming up, I think it's my job now. So that I have to face any consequences that I'm saying there. So that shouldn't be a problem for me. As I've said earlier on, I said my husband family are a good politician. So they know what it takes. They know what it involves in politics.
All right, intriguing discussion we're having on Let's Talk Politics. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we continue our conversation with Abibat Adeosun, who is a deputy governorship candidate of the Action Democratic Party. Right after this, please stay with us. Welcome back to Let's Talk Politics on AIG Media Prime. We continue our conversation with Abibat Adeosun, who is a deputy governorship candidate of the Action Democratic Party. Crucial elections happening next year in Lagos State. Several candidates have already declared their intention. The narrative for the state has always been one party in office in Alausa for the last nearly 20 years. The other party going against it hasn't had the opportunity. But the third party, Action Democratic Party, hopes to change the narrative and possibly get a chance at the pie in Alausa. So, Adebipe Adeosun, your party, the Action Democratic Party, people will say it's a new kid on the block. It's not PDP, it's not the APC or through the different years, or the AD, which coincidentally held the reins in the Southwest from 1999 to 2003. What are the pillars of your party that people can say, for example, I know that you have the book as the symbol of your party, right? Okay, so what are the pillars of the ADP?
Thank you very much. ADP comes up just because we need alternative in Lagos State. People are crying, but nobody to cry to. But it is time for us to come out and check in the alternative party, because if you look at it very well, APC and PDP are almost the same thing. They are working for each other. That is why people are trying to look for alternative party, and there was no alternative party, but thank God ADP is out now for people's choice to switch and make the alternative choice of their mind.
What are the goals of your party, and what are the ways, for example, as a deputy governorship candidate of your party, if you become deputy governor, you can assist or work with the governor to make this happen? What will be the number one thing that your party will be thinking of doing if it steps into office?
First thing, the problem we have in Lagos State now, we can see we are having a problem of this road traffic. The traffic in Lagos State now is too much. When I was coming to Lagos yesterday from Badagry, I spent about 8 hours from Badagry to Lekki. It's too much. So the first thing we're going to do is to make sure we have a very good road. Then we link our road from Badagry to Maitu.
What do you think is the problem with the traffic in Lagos?
The problem with the traffic in Lagos is just because we are routing through one road. It's not an alternative road in Lagos, and we're not making use of our rivers. I mean, we are making use of our rivers, putting enough boats on the rivers that will reduce the traffic movement on the roadside and then make use of the rivers.
You know, together with housing, a lot of stuff about infrastructure in Lagos has suffered. You pointed out mainly because also the influx of people into town is uncontrolled. You look at one of the areas that affect migrants into Lagos, if they're coming from the rural areas or from other states into Lagos, has to do with housing. You have a background in housing. We talked about the fact that most people, more often than not, who come into Lagos will stay in squatter settlements. They could stay in slums, places like Makoko and the rest of them. And that's where they will live for years. And, you know, the impact on the environment is better imagined than experienced. What's your thinking about housing in Lagos? You think we deserve better, or we have to do a lot more?
We have to do a lot of more. We have to do that, because if you look at the housing scheme in Badagry now, for example, the housing scheme in Badagry was built by San Raji Fashola in his own regime. But when Ambode comes in, the housing was demolished. And we can see the price of the housing is not affordable. When you look at the housing everywhere in Lagos State, it's just a abandoned building. Nobody can avoid the price. So as ADP party, when we were being elected in 2019, we're going to make sure we create an housing estate that is going to be very, very affordable for Lagosian to be able to get, and it will be very easy for them to get it.
Tell me something. Well, I'll take you back on the issue of transport. One of the big, it's a question we've asked them, those in office many times, because you've had unplanned migration, you've had urbanization happen very quickly in Lagos State. So we've had many things coming. The motorcycles, the okadas, they're everywhere. What we call the rickshaw, what you call keke, mao, and all of that. There's simply no control for these things. And to make matters worse, there's back and forth about the downfall, whether or not to keep them or not. A lot of people seem to suggest if you take the downfalls out of the area boys, the unions, of the streets, it could lead to an increase in crime and other vices in the state. What's your thinking? You're going to work with these groups, or you think we kick them out?
When we get to the government, we're going to sit down and see how it's going to be effective and how it's going to be efficient for us in our government before we can attend to that. Because for now, the only thing we will try to do is to arrange and make sure there is a good carriage for those that dance food, because they don't have carriage. That is why you see them hanging on the street and hanging on the expressway that will make much traffic to occur. So we're going to create a carriage for them for them to make use of it.
Let's talk about healthcare. Only yesterday, a couple of days, I think it was yesterday, I was watching the current governor, Kiwumi Ambo, they launched some healthcare plan, mandatory for the entire state. The state of healthcare is something you cannot imagine. I mean, they've got several areas in the state where hospital facilities are in a state of disrepair. Some constituencies don't have general hospitals running for several kilometers, and if there are a shortage of drugs and all of that, what's your thinking about healthcare for the people of it, and also very importantly, maternal and child healthcare?
Thank you. The healthcare in Lagos State, we have to rebuild more healthcare centers for Lagosian, because the one we have on ground generally is not enough. I can cite an example as the Alimosho General Hospital there. Right. Before you can bring emergency from Badagry down to Alimosho, I think it's not on the safer side. And from Agege, before you can bring an emergency to Alimosho, it's very, very dangerous, because the level of the environment is somehow poor. So we try as much as possible to create more health centers for the people of Lagos.
One of the key issues with previous elections we've had, and it's something that was the kernel of the discussions around the Electoral Act Amendment of the National Assembly, Electoral Act Amendment that the President has refused to sign, has to do with vote buying and the monetization of the electoral process. I've heard people, especially new candidates who come from the other parties, not the PDP or the APC, say they feel that the field is not level enough. So you have candidates who go into the field to want to go and campaign for votes, and they're met by the electorate demanding from them money. They also fears that during the election process itself, the process is compromised because candidates that have a bigger purse or war chest can spend the other parties. How have you been going about your campaign? The money's been coming in sufficient to meet the voters' demands, or you do not give the voters anything?
Thank you. Actually, we told them we don't have money to spend for anybody. We told them we have so many things on ground. It's not about giving you 5,000. It's not about giving you 10,000 for it. Can 5,000 solve your problem? No. But what we are trying to do is let's fight this problem. Let's fight this battle so that we can be able to enjoy it together. So we tell people it's not by money, it's not by giving you 1,000, it's not by giving you 50,000. It won't solve the problem. It's only propounding the problem, because the question you're supposed to ask us, where do we get those money we are giving you? At least when we get to the government, we have to refund back the money where we've seen it. So it shows we are not a good governance.
How successful has that been? I mean, have you been able to convince people that this plan of not being able to give them anything will work at the end of the day?
Yes, We told them, they too, they know. They know the money the other parties have been giving them is the money they have been used for their standard of living for the past for 4 years ago. So they believe it's just a trick. Whenever the election is at the corner, you see the other party coming out and sharing them money. So the people know, they know the right thing and they know their minds.
All right, thank you very much. Debimpe Abibat Adeosun, the deputy governorship candidate for the Action Democratic Party, vying for seat in the governorship seat in next year's crucial general elections of Let's Talk Politics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, see you again next time.